By a prophet, the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, and by a prophet, he was established. Nobody can underestimate the role of a prophet in the life of any nation, whether that nation is theocratic or democratic. However, it is important we address the issue of the abuse of the prophetic and the prophetic office. And that is why great men of God like Pastor Mensa Otabil is being used by God to correct the wrongs and to bring some sanity into the prophetic ministry. Do I agree 100% with everything he has said about the prophetic ministry? No, I do not. But largely, I agree with almost everything he says. The excesses. We are making a mockery of the institution of prophetism, something that is supposed to be an honorable thing. Look, enough with the mind games. Enough with the mind games. And it has gotten to the extent that someone could be in another country and send ultimatums, warnings, instructions to a statesman, a former president of Ghana. I give you 10 days. You must get back to me. What level of disrespect and arrogance is that? Sir, we respect you. We admire you. In fact, we respect your office, the oil on your head. We believe you are an authentic man of God. But on this occasion, sir, you didn't do right by the word of God. And you see 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, nobody is above the rebuke of God's word. I give you 10 days. Get back to me. You need to call me. And he didn't call me. And later, okay, now one of his people has called me. And now I'm going back to God. And I'm going to talk to God. And this is going to happen. Then later, maybe it will happen. Maybe it wouldn't happen. Give me some more time. Now I come back. Okay, I have not handed over the issue to Reverend Owusu Bempa and Archbishop Duncan Williams. And so they will work on it. And both of them will get back to me. In the end of the day, you said nothing. It was just recently I went online to see that there was a service, I think on the 2nd of December or something, where now I heard that, what will happen in Ghana will be just like what happened in the United States, just like Trump was once a president and he came back, so a former president will come back. But that was after some of the credible prophets had already prophesied. People like Prophet El Bernard, had already prophesied. Long before that, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, as far back as 2003, January or so, I'm not too sure, has prophesied that the President Mahama was coming back. Every pointer in the economy, you see, even without any prophet prophesying, every pointer in the economy showed that there was no way the NPP was going to win unless they rigged, because things had become so bad. And so you waited until all these credible prophets came out publicly, and then you now come back just on the 2nd of December. Come on, sir. On this occasion, with all due respect, this whole thing to make it look like, yes, I am a prophet who commands nations in Africa. Please, even many men of God are so ignorant about prophetism. As soon as they hear certain popular names, they begin to shiver. Hey, this man has spoken. Hey, we have to do that. We have to do that. Why was the president not calling you at first? Because he knew that it wasn't necessary. It was already sealed. Because there were thousands of men of God praying for him. There were many prophets sending him messages, talking to him, giving him prophetic directions. And so he knew he didn't need to call you. It was at the end that some of his people advised him that, look, what have you got to lose? Just give this man a call. He's a popular prophet known in Africa. And so just give him a call. What have you got to lose? That is how come he called you in the end. He didn't need to. He didn't have to. And so for you to even use that call and publicize it, that, hey, even your president called me, that in itself exposes your arrogance. Why? To call you. Because he believes in prophetism and he honors prophets. Also because he respects prophets. He honors prophets. And he has nothing to lose by calling you. Then you give an ultimatum and a warning to someone else's president. And then you also tell such great men of God in that land, like Archbishop Duncan Williams and Prophet Owusu Bempah, that they will work on it and they will get back to you. As if they are your co-equals. The impudence, the disrespect. Then, how? Habama, mabu. With or without any prophecy, the election's outcome would be the election's outcome. No prophet engineered the outcome of Ghana's elections. We prophets, we only get the privilege of being carried in the spirit to go and see the outcome of the elections. Then we come and declare it now. That's if you've written an exam and the results are not out yet. The results will be out in 2 months' time. But you know somebody who has the privilege of knowing the person marking the script. So he goes into the person's room, goes to see the script and says, oh, you had an A. So he comes back to come and tell you, oh, you had an A. So prepare. When the results are announced, you get an A. It doesn't mean the person, the prophet, the person who went to spy the examiner was the one who gave you A. He only went to spy and saw the grade you have already had through your hard work and studies. And he came to announce in your ears that, oh, I have gone to spy the room and you had A in the exam, so don't worry. That's it. It's as simple as that. So let prophets not overly expect some commendation as if they were the people who caused the winning of any election. No, we didn't cause anything. We only had the privilege of going into the future to see the outcome, come back into the present and declare the future now. And it is so that God's name will be glorified, not that our names would be glorified. When Prophet Owusu Bempah and Archbishop Duncan Williams are done, they will get back to you. And you are seeing this publicly. Come on. I'm mentioning. These are your seniors. Archbishop Duncan Williams is not your co-equal in any way. The fact that you are blessed with a prophetic gift that does not make you a senior in the spirit realm. You don't come publicly and issue instructions to prophets in another country. When they finish, they'll get back to me. As what? With all due respect, sir. How could you even do that? And you are giving such instructions to a person like Archbishop Duncan Williams, Prophet Owusu Bempah. No, sir, you don't do that. You respect seniority and you respect boundaries. And this is total disrespect to the prophets in Ghana. And let me say this. There is no country in Africa that has prophets of higher ranking than in Ghana. No prophet in Africa, not in Zimbabwe, not in South Africa. There is no prophet in Africa. Ghana is the headquarters of prophetism in Africa. There are so many prophets in Ghana who saw what was about to happen and they sent private messages. They didn't come online. There are prophets whose eyes, whose level in the prophetic is far higher than yours, with all due respect, sir. Do you know Apostle B.B. Frederick? Do you know Prophet Erica J? Do you know the old prophet Ano ICGC? Do you know the prophet Achu Manasi? The fact that all these people are quiet in public does not mean they are not working or sending the information they need to send or interceding quietly, prophesying, showing directions behind camera. Do you know the apostles we have in this land? Many of them who are not social media people. Many of them who communicate with the president secretly. Even I myself, I sent my prophetic directions secretly, privately. Some of us even gave figures, percentages, privately. You see, the point of this is not to direct attention to ourselves, but so that the name of the Lord will be glorified. What you have done, sir, has no biblical basis at all. You don't come public and issue warnings and ultimatums to a president or a statesman of another country while there are prophets in that land. You go through the prophets. Or anything at all, worst case scenario, you go through people who are close to the man and you send your information to him. You don't come public You don't do that. Even Samuel would not go public. No, if anything, he would approach Saul directly. Samuel wouldn't go public on David. He would go privately. So unethical, sir. This is not about disrespect, sir. I respect you, I respect your oil, I respect your office, I respect your person. This is about the unethical dissemination of prophetic information to the right quarters. What was the intention of all of this? So that the whole world will hear and know that I am the kingmaker of Africa. Without me, you cannot win an election. If you want to win an election, get back to me in 10 days. In other words, if he didn't get back to you in 10 days, there is no way he would have won the election. Do you know that thousands of prophets in Ghana who have already given him prophetic directions, who have already spoken and declared the outcome of the election? In fact, I believe that the great prophets in the land, the older prophet, the senior prophets, would call him to order. And to the rest of my young prophets, let me tell you this. It isn't everything that some of our senior prophets do that is right. Do not be in a rush to be relevant and to trend. I'm speaking to you, my dear brothers, my dear sisters who are coming up in the prophetic. Trending is not everything. There are things the Lord reveals to you, it is for you. There are things the Lord tells you, but he doesn't tell you to come public. People like the prophet Bernard L. Bernard, the Lord specifically told him to come public. But did God tell you to come public? What is the intention? Do you want to trend? You want to be relevant? You want people to say that, hey, I said it and it came to pass. Guess what? Over 6 million Ghanaians predicted that Mahama was going to win. So if you are giving all the credit to just 1 or 2 prophets or 3 or some prophets, what do we say to the 6 million people? There are posters who forecasted. I don't remember the name of a gentleman. I think he was on TV, TV3 or something. He had predicted already, just by research, that there was a high possibility that MPP was going to lose by almost 2 million. He predicted it. And this is not about spiritual matters. This is about common sense and just being objective and studying the terrain and the economy. Young prophets, in case you prophesied or something and it came to pass, stop overly giving credit to yourself. The point of the prophetic is to point people to God, not point attention to ourselves. Let's be careful. Let's bring some sanctity into the prophetic ministry.